All right. Bo Porter is here. Hannah Kaiser is here. Worst takes of all time. That's something I'm doing, right?
Yeah, well, timing is everything. You should have waited.
All right. Give me something on this, Bo. I got to lay it all out. I don't want to be negative, but this is what it is. What do you think?
Well, the best ability is availability. And you outlined it so well in your essay. The bottom line here is, as an organization, you've heard me say this many times, BK, you have to be realistic of where you're at as an organization. And the Yankees are at that point where they're going to have to accept that they're going to have to retool this roster. Mm-hmm. So when you start to look at a problem, once you realize that you have a problem, you have to figure out, how do I get rid of this problem? Because if you don't get rid of it, you're going to have to live it every day. And right now, they're living it every day.
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay, so I like that you mentioned WRC plus so much in that essay because it allows me to use that as a stat right now. The Yankees only have 3 players who have taken any number of plate appearances. That's not qualified players, any number of plate appearances. Only 3 above average with WRC plus. Aaron Judge, of course, Gleyber Torres, and Billy McKinney. Of those 3, only Torres has played more than 100 games. And of course, Aaron Judge is not at fault for the Yankees situation right now, but it speaks to something that you're getting at, which is the opportunity cost. Because I was looking at that Marlins trade, the Stanton war versus the war that the Yankees gave up in those prospects, and that looks pretty good for the Yankees. But you're right. The issue is that they've kind of doubled down on this strategy of, instead of going for the top tier, most expensive younger free agents, they've kept kind of trying to sign these aging, injury-prone guys to plug holes, maybe waiting for guys to come up. That's why they sat out the shortstop free agent class 2 years in a row. But the issue is, right now they have a whole bunch of guys who are injury-prone or unproductive, and that's the issue. Aaron Judge should be your most power-centric, injury-prone, potentially guy. Like, everybody else should be athletic, on the field a lot. They are right now dead last in sprint speed and second to last in base running. So they don't have other people to offset the sort of limited production that they are getting from Stanton.
Right. And I even thought this year, I said, when Judge got hurt, and he was having a magnificent season, I thought, all right, here's why you have Stanton. Because there's the big bat, right? So not redundancy, he had just come back, and it's not happening. And if it's not happening now, I don't know if it's going to happen in the next 4 years. Take a look at what the Yankees have coming off the books over the next few years. Because, again, we're just talking about it with the dog. And this is the final year now for Josh Donaldson. Also, Luis Severino, who's got an ERA at like 8. Frankie Montas, who hasn't pitched. And then, like, kind of the problem is, like, Connor Falefa and Bader are kind of like the future, right? Or at least they would be the flexible younger guys in their 20s. And they're leaving. So what do you do? Hannah, let me start with you on that. If you're Brian Cashman, how do you say, I got to change this whole equation? How do you do it?
I try to trade Stanton, I guess, but I don't know. You're right. I think they have to. I think they should have done something more at this trade deadline. I think they should have traded players at this deadline. I don't know who.
But they were close. They thought they were close. So,
but then they didn't acquire anyone either. So you didn't make your team better. You think that they couldn't see. It's not like we're so far away from the trade deadline that they couldn't have seen this coming.
That's a good point. Where are you, Bo?
Well, when you look at it, you're going to have to make a hard decision on what direction they can't run a parallel line at this point. To me, they have to make a hard decision of, one, going young and getting money off the books. I'll look at the Stanton situation. I'm going to replace Stanton with their top prospect, Dominguez, because it's no doubt in anybody's mind that he's going to hit. So you find a taker for Stanton. You eat as much of the money as you have to eat. At the same time, you're bringing in a player that you believe is going to be a core player for your next championship team, and he's only going to cost you the minimum salary over the course of the next 2 or 3 years.
I've got kind of 2 things here. One, I mentioned the old A-Rod Teixeira team and Beltran when they suddenly looked very old and they lost to the Astros on the wild card. They're winning 84 games. And I thought Brian Cashman did a marvelous job of not even retrenching, but rebuilding on the fly and getting a good team. But I think in this case, you might have to take a year where you're not winning 90. Right? If you're saying
you have
to eat the 1 year.
Because you may hit on the young player.
Right, but you might have to think like, hey, we're planning, and you can't serve 2 masters. We're going to be a powerhouse next year, too. That's what's gotten you in this situation, is that every year you must be a powerhouse.
See, that's why they should have made these difficult decisions before the trade deadline.
No, you're right. You're right.
This would have been the year.
You're right.